What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 9 of the CCD podcast. We have the infamous Neelan, no clutch, Vallen in house. Hello, Uncle Neelan. Welcome.
Hello, Mr.
Finally,
Rahul.
after a lot of convincing and begging and feeding you alcohol, you decided to come. I'm glad to have you.
Yeah, you didn't feed me enough, that's why I'm here.
Uncle Neelan, where did it all start for you? Racing, cars, you also obviously own your own shop, you'll get into that, but racing cars and the passion for cars, where did it all start?
So it all started back in the days in KZN. I worked at a place called Kistas Mobile, and the owner's son was an Opel guy. So that's where my experience and love for the Opel started. So I moved away overseas after like 8 years working there. And then, you know, the UK is the Opel hub,
Yes, yes.
so you may call it. And I started collecting stuff and doing research on stuff there.
Okay. And then in the UK, obviously having had experience in the UK now, living there for a while, and in South Africa, did you notice any difference? Like what do they do differently to us in terms of like the racing and the way they build things? Are they very hands-on people? Do they like to outsource it, or are they like us, hands-on and want to build everything ourselves?
There's not many shops like what we have here. More bolt-on stuff and easy stuff. They are the fabricators and you know, the big dragster builders and stuff like that. What the? What?
I need to understand what the hell's going on.
Fuck's sakes. I literally just pictured this so fucking
No funny face and all that. I'll start fucking dancing.
Whoa, bruh.
What?
I'm trying to focus and look at you seriously. I picture you with that sticker at News Cafe where you buy like
What sticker?
the one where you pass the beer to me. So you were saying now, obviously there are not a lot of shops and stuff in the UK. Has that changed now over time?
No.
Okay.
No. There's still very, very minimum shops in the UK. I've still got friends there that I talk to every now and again.
Okay.
And yeah, the shops, the proper like shops that like you and I have
Yes,
are
yeah.
very scarce.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously with the love for Opel, I'm assuming the first car you really built and started racing. No, racing doesn't start as actual racing as a race car driver. It's obviously going to a robot and then dicing the person next to you. So what was your first car that you actually built
So
to
I,
race? What your car you not necessarily to race, but your first toy that you built as such. Yeah.
So the place that I worked at was Kistas Mobile. They had a Isuzu Bucky that I put a TS engine into the car, and
Okay.
that was my toy. You know, weekends and during the week I used to
Yeah.
travel home with it and race with it sometimes.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it
the
was a Bucky.
It was a Isuzu Bucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we can get snippets of that. I think it's the
Yeah.
one you sent me that
Yeah,
clean
yeah,
photo of. That
yeah.
was a very clean Isuzu single cab. Okay, we'll add some snippets onto that. And then obviously, I heard of you when I joined the Opel clan. Also, obviously working for GM and stuff. That's where my love for Opel started. But I heard of you being one of the top dogs in the 1K back when ODI was around. You know, tell us more about what the ODI scene.
So yeah, so in 2014 I came back from Malawi. I was working there, and then I decided to open the shop. And that Opel that I have now, it belongs to a friend of mine in KZN. So we built that car together in memory of Priyasan, who's late.
Okay.
So in 2016, he phoned me and told me, listen, he's been trying to build a car ever since Priyasan passed away,
Yeah.
and he hasn't had joy with it. So he told me, come and collect the car, see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
So I collected the car in 2016, stripped the car, sent it in for painting, rebuilt the whole engine. I think in 2017, end of 2017, was the car's first appearance at ODI. But we had a lot of issues, you know, suspension issues, braking shafts. The whole of 2017, I think I was in 2 events. I never had a full pass.
Okay.
So in 2018, we started trying different things,
It wasn't issues actually, it was learning curves if you
Yeah.
look at it. Yeah, because first time out a new build, you're gonna have hiccups.
Yeah, so in 2018, we took the car out, and I think the first pass that I made, a full pass, I think Walter used to hold that 1K record at 287, if I'm not mistaken. The first pass, we broke that record. So we were holding the 1K record. And then Joburg Autotech came in.
On the front wheel drive
On
class.
the front wheel drive class,
yes.
yeah.
In a 2 liter, just
2
for the
litre, yeah.
viewers so they know. 2 liter Superboss. We'll go to the build now.
And then Joburg Autotech came in with their Golf ABF, and they started the 1K as well.
Okay.
And that car was strong. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, that car was strong. They had a lot of fancy stuff which we didn't have at the time. So they came, and I think they did a 297 on the 1K. And over the year of 2018, they managed to get the car into the 300. No, I'm lying. They didn't get it in the 300.
They missed. They were short
Yeah.
of the 300. Yeah.
2018, 2019, they changed the body. They took the Golf engine and they put it into the Superboss body.
Yeah.
And that's when they broke the 300. But we still stayed with our recipe. 2018, we got it into the 300 after a lot of. So we had to do gearbox modifications, we had to do shaft modifications, we did suspension mods. The car made the power, the engine was reliable, but
Everything else
around it was
Yeah.
a mess.
Okay.
So yeah, we got it into the 300 eventually in 2018, 2019, somewhere there. And then ODI disappeared. We couldn't go back. I think ODI got sold, or there were safety issues with ODI. We couldn't go back and race there.
Yeah. Back onto the build, we'll just touch on the build, what you've done to that specific engine. Obviously, you've built a lot of Opels, fast ones as well, but you don't want to give away too many secrets, but you can just let the viewers know what's the motor that you were running, internals, just more or less. You don't have to give away too much of secrets, but yeah.
It still was 2 liter. Obviously, we had the block cemented. Stephen from JMS helped me with a lot of technical stuff on the car. We had a head done by Steve's Auto Clinic, the full groceries with the turbo cams. We had steel crank, arrow rods. We had JE pistons in the car. So it was 86.5 bore, which is 20 thou over standard.
Yeah.
And yeah, we ran dictator, no boost per gear, 2 bar off the line, right to the top.
No traction
No
control.
traction
nothing.
control, no fancy stuff in that.
Yeah.
We had 2,200 cc injectors. We are running clean ethanol. We just had launch control on the gear knob with a normal panic button switch, and that was it.
Yeah. Fast forwarding 5 to 6 years now later, or 4, 5, 6 years later on from that build, with the modern technology or the availability of the technology and the access we have now to different things and knowledge and know-how, do you think you could have gone a lot faster?
No, plenty.
Okay.
Plenty. The car would have broke at least in the 310, I would say.
Yeah.
With the management that we have now in the car, with traction control and boost per gear, and all those fancy stuff with the injectors and stuff that we have, and the setup,
Yeah.
I think that car is good for a 310.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes steam. It definitely
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
all the
yeah.
horsepower possible. So, obviously, we've had this off camera. We've had this discussion. But will you build a car, or would you take out that car again? Because you still own the car. You own 2 actually super bosses. One for the fully fledged car that went 300, and then obviously your street car. You call it street car, but when I told you bring it, you said you got no fuel. Will you do a 800 again?
Yes, I will, definitely.
Okay.
The intention, if the
With
car
the same
comes
car. With the
with
same
the same car.
Okay.
The intention is, if the car comes out again, we're gonna go for the 800 and see if we can do a 300 in the 800 meters.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously we now only got the 800 meter facility. I don't know what's Saldana. What are they?
I think 800 as
800
well.
as well. Yeah. So look, 800 with 200 meters less. People doesn't sound a lot. 200 meters is actually short space when you're traveling that speed.
Yeah.
To accelerate an additional 10 k's an hour, it's a lot. Now back onto yourself the workshop, you own Extreme Performance out in Boksburg. Is there anything you specialize in specifically besides the Opel part that you obviously, I would say, a guru in?
So we do a lot of fleet work, which is our main line of business. Yeah, and more onto the older school cars. I know you guys love the new school cars.
Yeah.
You don't like the old cars.
Yeah, the headaches.
So yeah, we like the old cars and fleet work. A lot of government work. You
Yeah.
know,
You are RMI
ABSA,
approved, so that
ABSA
helps, yeah.
fleet, West Bank fleet, and those kind of things. Yeah.
Guys, if you are in the Boksburg area looking for a reputable mechanical shop that can help you with RMI approval, fleet maintenance, you're more than welcome to contact Extreme Performance. Now on my, I'm not trying, how do I say this? The Datsun, it sparked, it made me enjoy racing again as such. It was a new challenge. Like you said, we like the newer school cars. You built a Datsun, and you give us a story on the Datsun that you've now built.
So the Datsun was a last minute decision. In 2020, I had a bad accident with a Corolla at Midval, which I decided that I'm going to step back from rear wheel drive. It's not my thing. I'm not saying I won't learn it, but I never grew up or played with a rear wheel drive car.
Yeah.
And yeah, for unforeseen circumstances, I rolled the car and I decided to step back from the rear wheel. But 2 weeks later, I bought another Corolla and decided to do a transplant.
Okay.
From the crash car to another car, I did the whole transplant. I took the car once to the track and it did the exact same thing to me. I tapped off, brought the car back. The next day, the car was for sale. I sold the car. And then sitting one day, I get a call from another friend, Domingo. We all know Domingo is also an Opel guy.
Yes, yeah.
He told me he's going overseas and he wants to sell his cars. So I said, okay, shop, let me come and have a look and see what you got. He had a whole lot of spares for the Opel engines and stuff. So when I went there and I looked at the Datsun, it spoke to me something.
English, Afrikaans?
French.
Just a German at least, man.
So I told him, listen, I've got 3 Opel Cadets, so I'm not interested in the Cadet.
Yeah.
I want the GX.
Yeah, the black one, I think it was
Yes,
the black one,
yes,
yes. Yeah.
yes. So he told me, okay, make an offer for the car. I said, no, you tell me what you want for the car.
Yeah.
He says he wants his engine, he wants his gearbox, and he wants his race seat. So I made him an offer. He accepted, collected the car, took it back to the shop, and then it started all over again. We started building. And, you know, this build for me was something different. For some reason, I don't know why.
Yeah.
And we built, got the car running. We had a lot of issues with the car. Suspension, braking shafts, prop shaft, gearbox. For a whole year, it was engineers, workshop, racetrack, engineers, workshop, racetrack. You know, you saw me a few times.
The one night we still came back from Midval
Yeah.
late because it snapped the shaft, I think it was.
So then, you know, sometimes it's nice to listen to people when they tell you, go there, you're not going to have any issues. And I took the diff to Tyrant. He did the diff back to front for me, everything all over again. And yeah, you drove the car after that, I didn't.
Yeah.
After Tyrant, it was your baby.
Yeah.
So
And you broke a shaft at Talton, that run.
Yeah,
took
the wheel came
sorry,
off,
the
yeah.
wheel came off. Yeah, the wheel
that
came
was
off.
last year,
Yes,
beginning
yeah.
of this year.
It was beginning of this year, actually. Yeah, it was
Beginning of this year, yeah. And that was the last straw for me. Then I said, I'm done. It's now your baby.
I thought Vashni was ready to like tell you must sell everything. The look on her face and when the wheel came off. But yeah, thanks for that opportunity. We'll obviously going to drive in the car just now, but also Opel power plant. Give us a rundown on what's built on it because I know I drove it. I don't even know everything that's in there.
Very same recipe as the drag car. Only thing, it's got FCP rods and it's got Wasner pistons. Stock head, stock valves, rev kit, CD cams.
Okay, so
And
really a basic.
Yeah, it's a basic build, nothing fancy.
Gearbox.
D4D box, twin pack clutch. We've got concentric bearing on the inside, and that's about it. Makes 550
Yeah.
on what, 2 bar boost, so it's decent amount of power.
For that small body, it's
Yeah.
more than enough. You need to get everything else. So yeah, we can chat about that. Like I say, that car sparked a bit of a new life for me in the racing team. Was obviously I went onto the bikes because the cars were getting a bit boring. But going in driving that old school was fun for me. But it was also a learning curve as well because I learned a lot of new things. Suspension, we always knew suspension is key,
Yeah.
but we can see how important, especially for drag racing. I mean, that car exits good exits. It's well into the 230s. It's making enough horsepower. You know, it was a 9.8 at 236. Yeah, I still remember that weekend we were working on the car. I went and I wrote the time and the exit speed on the windscreen and the inside. But yeah, till today I get goosebumps when I hear you scream at the end of the video. It's like it was an achievement. Like I had to watch on the sideline, watch you, I wouldn't say failing, but going through steps and learning process. And it wasn't nice because a fellow racer, you know, we obviously more than a racing part, we're close, we're very good friends. For me to see you on the sideline and not enjoying the racing and then running the time you did, it's like, for me, it's the best feeling. It's like knowing that all the effort you put in has finally, you've reaped the rewards, which is nice to see. You know, drag racing, people always just see, again, I talk about it, the times. They don't know everything.
The effort,
the
time,
the
the
late
late
night. You know, we were
nights.
speaking about it the other day. Whenever we come to your shop, you're there, you're working on the cars, you're busy, you know. So, again, well done to you and your team.
Thanks.
You know, and thanks again for the opportunity of letting me drive it. We obviously got plans with the car. We want to go faster with what is there.
What is
Obviously,
there, yeah.
wanting to get the suspension to work. I think that's our biggest drawback right now is the suspension. Because if we can cut a 1.4 60 foot, I think we'll go that 9.5, 9.4 that you want.
100%.
So yeah, and the gearbox. I don't know if there's someone out there willing to sponsor us a T56 Magnum or
Turbo NOS.
Jericho, Turbo NOS.
Turbo NOS.
Mo, please be nice. I'll bring you food. Any new projects in the pipeline?
So it's a Vashni's car, the BM, the yellow E30, I think, which should be next.
That's actually your pride and joy because that's always under the cover and anyone wants to walk closer, you get pressure.
Yeah,
So
I think that should be next in line. E30 with the 335, 6-speed manual. I don't think there's one yet.
Yeah.
So we're trying very hard to keep it with everything with the 335. Harness,
Working wise, ECU wise.
ECU wise, harness and all that.
Talking about ECU, you've had experiences with Haltech, Fuel Tech, Dictator. What's your take on management as a general? Because you've been doing this from way back when Dictator was around, and I'm not saying they're irrelevant, they're still very relevant, there's still a lot of fast cars, but with the evolution of management systems, they're still around, but what do you see vastly the improvement from what they offer to a Fuel Tech, for example, or Haltech, as you've experienced it firsthand?
So, you know, the new managements that come in now, it's trying to eliminate the human error on the tuning side. They've got a lot of safety features, they've got a lot of target things that you expect and actual, you know. So if the car goes into any one of those, out of those parameters, it puts the car into, it throws you an error code, or it goes into limp mode or something. It'll throw up something on the screen. And you know, there's a lot more you can do now. Sequential fire, you know, traction control, boost per time, boost per speed, boost per gear.
Yeah.
It's, you know, Dictator doesn't have all of that. Yes, they still work. There's nothing wrong with them. But I think what held us back from racing aspect was management.
Yeah. I think it's not, and again, I spoke to somebody about it, it's never the power. I think South Africans generally, our cars are on par, if not more. We make good power here. It was always just for us with the tracks that we spoke about in previous podcasts, is that we're limited to the tracks that we can use. And I think finding a management that can work for you and apply that power was the biggest key. So I think there was a run where I either forgot to switch the traction control off, or it wasn't switched on. And the same power, I couldn't even go past the 200 meters all over the place. Yet with more power, traction control on, it goes straight as an arrow. 100%. So 100%, from what I've known now, look, I haven't experienced Dictator back in the day. I don't know what was around other than Dictator. I think it was Dictator, GoTech,
Mr. Turbo,
Mr. Turbo, and there was Domingos. Yes,
Domingos.
So Dictator's done well. I mean, they're still around, still being used. I know it's still in that orange Datsun also from Sabi Kutsia's old car.
Mm.
They're still running Dictator there in that car.
Is it?
Yes, yeah, the car still got Dictator.
Sure.
Apparently it runs 2 Dictators.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, not actually, it does. The last time I saw it, it had Dictator in it. So yeah. Will you ever move away from the Opel motor power plant? Because I've noticed everything is Opel for you actually, power plant wise. The only thing I've seen you drive besides your Landy and your Isuzu had its original motors.
Yes.
Everything else is mixed masala with Opel. Microwave at home, still still
Opel
original.
powered, yeah.
Opel powered.
Yeah. So, you know, it's difficult when you look at the 2J, if you look at the RB, because if you're going to move for something bigger,
Yeah.
right? If you look at the 2J, you look at the RB, you look at the Bara, those kind of 6-cylinder, the TB28, which is big in with the Arabs. To build one of those engines to make 1,000 horsepower, you're going to spend half a bar into that engine. The Opel currently makes 690 kilowatts. It's 1,000 horsepower, or 200-300 horsepower short
Yeah.
of 1,000. The amount of money you spend there versus that,
The bigger
I can
ones.
build 5 engines. So I'm not saying I won't, but it must make sense to me. Why would you want to? If I want to make 1,000 horsepower, I can just put more groceries into the Opel and make that 1,000 horsepower.
Makes sense. But I don't even think 1,000 horsepower is necessary nowadays.
Exactly.
If you're looking at a lot of the cars that are going fast, are actually cars with good suspension work, good management. They're going fast. The exit speed never lies. Decent exit speeds. But
You know,
yeah.
for argument's sake, Leon Deploy, look at his, it's a 4-cylinder. What, they come standard 1.6. Maybe they're running a stroker kit or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But he's running in the 7.7. So, you know, it's nowhere near, I don't think, not many 6-cylinders
Can
in
go
that
there,
class.
yes, 100%. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
Even Ricardo is knocking on the 7th.
Yeah.
He's right there. Look at his, it's a CA what? CA 18.
CA 18, yeah. if I'm not mistaken.
So, again, something must convince me really hard. Beside the sound of a 6-cylinder, something must convince me really hard to move away from the Opel.
Makes sense. What's the highest powered car you've owned?
The drag car,
What was the kilowatts there?
697, I think I saw.
On the wheels.
On the wheels.
Was that a dyno day
Yeah.
at Turbo Nos?
No, Stephen.
Stephen James.
Stephen's dyno. Yeah. Yeah, in the 10 years, you know, this walk of life has taught me a lot of things. Not everyone in your circle is in your corner. And, you know, being in the racing industry and being around, you know, I came to Joburg as I had no friends here, no family here. I was alone. And, you know, the East Rand boys, you know, Lance and the crew, we first attached ourselves to them. We used to go out together, you know, and they still, you know, we still like family.
Yeah.
But, you know, over time, you know, when you start to build, you're building your business for the first 5 years. From 2014, you know, it's been up. You know business, how it is.
This industry, it's hard.
It's sometimes a very bright road, and it can turn very quickly into a very dark road, where you're alone, you're thinking, you know, whether you have made the right choices in life and stuff like that. But, you know, business is not for everybody, and especially not for sissies.
100%.
Yeah. We stomach, you know, as young businessmen, our background, coming from nothing and building, you have to have some steam.
Steel.
Yeah,
Steel.
you have to have some steel. Yeah. So, you know, I don't regret anything as a businessman or choosing this line of industry. And I'm grateful for every day. You know, every day is a new day. It comes with its own challenges, it comes with its own blessings and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's still tough, but yeah, we're going.
You get
Yeah.
there. I think it's also like you say, the circle that you're with, the people that you surround yourself with is important. You know, I saw a thing the other day. It's like, you know, it's nice to be with like-minded people because they get where you're coming from. They can understand and relate to
You can
where
relate,
you've
yeah,
been
yeah.
and coming up. You know,
100%.
so that's since me and you are like-minded.
Yeah.
Can we go 8 seconds with the that's it?
Yes, we can. CCD,
Please make a sponsor there for
we
us.
need a sponsor.
I think the first sponsor we'll ask is for Ricardo because he chickened out on the podcast.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask for Priyan for anything, he's still slow. You know,
So-
they can't even tune a fucking dyno machine. Add that.
Yeah, this year is our 10 years. Extreme performance.
Congratulations.
Yeah, this
and
is
well
our
done.
10
Well
years, and yeah, we'll be having a Dino Day soon to celebrate the 10 years. We just got everything running up and going in the last week or two, so yeah, we'll post the dates, and our man CCD will be covering. I'm sure our Dino Day. So,
Definitely. Bottle of brandy in this or Q.
yeah,
Do
and a lot of
5-star.
dark people.
Give you a 5-star
Yeah.
photo shoot.
Yeah, so yeah, just stay tuned.
Perfect. So guys, we'll put up somewhere. You'll get a flyer. Once Neelan sends us the flyer, we can just put it up somewhere as to the Dino Day if it is released before the podcast.
And some new facilities. We'll be having a tow truck facility also soon.
That's
Added to the.
we tow in 2Js, Supras.
Yeah, so
Yeah, well done on the 10 years. It's not like we said, it's not an easy industry. It's an achievement, it's an accomplishment from same industry businessman to another businessman. Well done. It's like I said, that's ambitious of you, and you have to be strong. But yeah, that's why your arms are big. So gyms every day, except tortoise and beans for life. Posh, nagam posh. So guys, Neelan from Extreme Performance has been kind enough to sponsor 2 entries, so 2 free entries to 1 lucky subscriber. So you have to subscribe and leave a comment. Etienne will randomly select a winner. He'll also be giving away a shirt. So hopefully you don't have a stomach like me so it can fit you. But yeah, Neelan, thanks for that. We really appreciate it. And thanks for coming out.
thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for giving us a hard time to convince you to come out, because I know you don't like speaking in front of cameras generally if you haven't had a shot or two, but you've done well. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.